Good morning, and good morning. I am in the car dealership where I brought my car to be serviced, and so I asked them, could I use the room? So I am not at my usual location, which is in my home. So good morning. I hope you've had a nice couple of days. Sorry about Wednesday. I don't know what happened, but somehow or another, it I just got kind of snafu'd there with me not clicking on all the buttons for my stream. But anyway, I streamed through StreamYard to both um, Facebook and YouTube. So I apologize for that, but I'm hoping you're doing well. Glad to know that you are still in this life. You know, you and I, we're still here. And just wanted to tell you a little bit about my ordeal with having received my car, and I thought I'd better, if you're going to make an investment and it's online, when you make it, you need to make sure that you bring it in to be checked out. So that's what I'm doing this morning. So I'm using their place, and the lighting I couldn't get, even though I have the whole conference room, I couldn't get the right place. So I don't know if I'll be going in and out, but hopefully you will be able to see me and be able to join in what we're going to talk about today. But I'm excited because today's area that we are discussing is skin. The skin we are in. We all have skin. We all are made up, and I think skin is a good part of the entire, body that we are basically living in. And I never knew that skin was so vital. But when you start reading up about it, it's very, very interesting to me that we don't always pay as much attention to it as we should. We may not treat it right. We may give it too much sun, or not enough water, or not enough, moisturizing. Something happens where we don't do all that we're supposed to do to take care of the skin that we are definitely in. So I found a couple of poems this morning, and I'm still waiting for some folks to come on in. I know that they're out there. I put out the information at 6:04 this morning just to try to make sure that you all knew that it does show that Facebook is on, and it shows that the YouTube is on. So somebody just popped in right now. Thank you so much. Come on in. It's good to know that you are watching. So when we talk about our skin, we talk about, maybe we have really smooth skin, or we have very, supple skin, or we have rough skin or tough skin. Our skin is just, sometimes we may have all of these textures all through, from head to toe. We may have different feeling when we touch it. And I used to always remember loving to touch my grandmother or my mother's skin because it felt like butter. It was just so soft, and I loved it because it was always a way for me to feel their warmth or their closeness, or just who they were, just in terms of, just cuddly or lovable or kind or caring. I sometimes you can feel that through the touching of other skin. You just feel it, it. So anyway, I have a couple of things here, and one of the things it talks about is skin. Hey, Debbie, how are you, my friend? I did it. I clicked on right today. Thank you so much. I finally clicked on what I was supposed to click on, which is to make sure that Facebook was hooked up as well as YouTube. And sometimes I will even send it over to Instagram. But anyway, how are you? Give me a little note there. I see you said hello, everyone. Hello to you. So anyway, I did find a couple of poems about the skin that I like. Let me put on my little glasses. And no, I'm not in my house. I'm at the dealership for my car. But it says, this is by G. Boston, whoever G. Boston is. It says, you wear the sun on your skin like a favorite summer dress, so natural and flowing and free. You own its hue as it begs to kiss your cheek and envelop you slowly like thick, fresh honey. You wear it so well, the touch of the sun, its golden voice mingling with the sound of your laughter and erasing all the troubles of the world. And sometimes we do think of our skin like that. And you says, yet get your clicking straight. I will from now on. And I loved it that you were looking for me. I said, man, somebody's looking for me. But anyway, our skin may sometimes feel like it is, we don't even want it to be covered because we can just feel, the fact that it feels good to us and we don't want it covered. Like, I'm not a big bathing suit wearer, so you will never see me do that. But some people are, and they love the sun on their skin. And it says after the sun sometimes has been on their skin gets a golden color to it, or it gets a tauntiness to it, and it becomes even more beautiful to them. I like that idea, but I'm not one to sit in it. So when I went to the jazz concert over last weekend, I had SF, I think it was 75 plus on it because the year before when I had gone, I had just come back and my daughter said, "My goodness, you got dark." Well, okay, but it's just the understanding that if you don't cover up your skin and you're outside, you will feel it on your skin and you will see it. You will see the results of it. But anyway, the other poem I found is by Brooke Le Breton, or Le Breton. But it says skin. It's not about the gap between your thighs or the color of your eyes. Who cares about the width of your hips or the fullness of your lips? Irrelevant is the shape of your toes or the size of your nose. No one notices the folds on your tongue or the wobble of your bum. Impressed with the knowledge in your mind. See the beauty others can't find. Always stand up for what you believe. Be more than people perceive. Do not be anything less than proud. Sing your hopes and dreams aloud. Never be reduced to the skin you wear because you have substance and opinions to share. I like that. I like it because it reminds me of a poem, like something that Maya Angelou would always say. It's like, how do you know, how do you understand what I'm about if you really don't know me? You know nothing about me. All you do is you see me. And so you may look at the outside of me. All you may see is my skin, and my skin may cause you trouble, or my skin may cause you concern. But if you really knew me, then you'd know what's inside of me. Who am I? What am I made of? What is my character? What is my position? What is my walk? What is my talk? Who am I? Characteristically. So I like that poem too. And it's just called Skin. That's all it's called. So when we break the word down, I'm going to ask you, are you stuck? Did you get stuck on the skin you're in, or not liking other people's skin? I love that poem. Thank you. Thank you, Debbie. It says, we are all stuck in the skin we're in. The skin we were given is the skin we have. We will leave here, hopefully, prayerfully, with skin. But we came with it. We came with this exterior on us that basically holds in everything that we are made of. It's around our eyes and our mouths and our necks and our chins. It's all over wherever we are at. And so it is done in such a way that our skin is just the constitution of what holds us all together. Everything, our feet, our hips, our legs, our backs, all of that is concealed and comfortable and comforted with skin. So it says, well, what is skin? It says skin is the thin layer of tissues forming of the natural or outer covering of the body, the outer covering of the body of a person or an animal. It says it's the dermis, it's the cuticle, it's the epidermis, it's the cutis, it's the derma, it's the derm, it's the integument, it's the tegument, it's the complication, it's the complexion, and it's the coloring. All that just in one little word, skin. And all of us, we don't even think of it. We just look at it as it being something that, sure, it's necessary. But how many of us take care of it properly, look after what we were given as what carries us through. To me, if I have something that's going to carry me through, be it my car, be it my credentials, or be it what body I am in, I have to take care of it so that it will last as long as I must last, or as long as I will last. That's how I look at it. So when I first look at surface, it says the surface, that's the S for me. What's the S for you, Debbie? Surface is the outside part, or the outermost or the uppermost layer of something, often used when describing it as texture, form, or extent. And that's how we're made up. Scratchy, okay, it could be, because sometimes skin is scratchy. It may have an itch to it where we feel like we need to scratch it. So that's true, absolutely. But we look at skin as being something that is so important, that we realize that it is the outside, it is the exterior of us, the top side of our being, what is externally seen by everybody. Oh, scars, that's good, because scars could also be on the skin. Very good. It says it may be the facets of how we're made up, the plane, the fact that they're not plain as in, they have it as a plane, plane, not just plain, but they're looking at it as it being the plane of what we own as part of us. It talks about it being the aspect of who we are, the finish, because all of us, so don't you look at some people and they have a real dewiness to them, or they might be sweaty. That's another one for that I didn't put down, but it certainly has merit. They may be sweaty, but they have this exterior sheen to them. All of that would be this on the surface of the skin, because it becomes visible. And then it looks like the outwardness of what it is that we see, the seeming, it says the apparent, because what we see is apparent to us. We see it. Okay, it could be something that's cosmetic, or something that is skin deep. All of that says that the surface has all of that available to it as we look at our skin. As we look at our skin. I don't know. Do I have a glare on me, Deb? Because I know I do it, but I'm at somebody else's place, so I don't know. But then we really talk about, as we move along in our area, we talk about our skin. We must keep our skin. There's no way, there is no way that you can not keep your skin unless you've been in a horrible accident, and a portion of your skin was removed for whatever the reasons. I've seen people when I worked in the hospital where they might have been a burn victim, or they might have been having a cancer or something, where a portion of their skin was cut away. In particular, I remember a woman from my high school that she was just the most loving woman ever, but she had cancer, and she had cancer of the skin, and it affected her face, and her face was literally being eaten up by the cancerous cells. And she said she was a sun worshiper, and she just always loved me. She just always loved me, and I would always just talk to her and take her little things. And she said, "You are just so kind, because you don't see that my face is showing how sick my body is." And I said, it doesn't matter. What matters is what's on the inside of you, and not what's on the out. So I always remembered her as just being just this wonderful light, even though the skin on the outside was causing her great pain, and ruining, she said, ruining her life. And she eventually succumbed to whatever else was going on with that cancer. It took her life. And that was the first time I think I remember experiencing someone outside of my family passing away, and just understanding the importance of the skin that we carry. And if you ever have seen me, or if you ever see me in the future, I am one that only wears lipstick and eyebrow pencil. no makeup. That's it. This is it for me. And the reason I do that is because I just know my skin is sensitive, and I don't want to have it where I'm breaking out. For me, I keep it simple. Soap, water, Vaseline. That's it for me. And some people can't use Vaseline. They can't use that kind of moisturizer, but I can. So anyway, when we have something that we know we need to keep, it says we remain with us. Our skin will remain with us. There's no other way for it. It will remain. It says it will be continued, and it will continue to be with us until we leave. It says it's something that stays. It's something that will be carried on. So that's one of the reasons that we should take care of it and take pride in it. And it says it will go on being, and it will persist in being, and not basically cut off. We must take care of what it is that we were given, especially if it's something that secures our life. It secures us in such a way that we are able to do all that we need to do to stay in this life. And one of it is that we will carry our skin with us. When we move further on in our word, did you have anything for the cape I said keep? What would you say for your K, Debbie? Um, and then here's a little cool word. It's integrant, in, I can't even say it. Integument. I can't even say it right this morning. And the integument is a tough outer protective layer. That's our outside layer of our skin, especially that is often on animal or plants. That's what we don't even think of ourselves like that. We just say skin. But this integument basically is the outside. It is what hides what's inside. It holds what's inside. It is the coat. It is the pelt. It is the envelope. Because we are basically enveloped. It says it is our skin, our casing, our crate, how we are, it's our packaging. When we look at skin, it's the jacket that we may, not realize that our skin holds us as if it were, you know, um, a jacket, or a close fitting suit or a vest or a coat. All those things would be what we would consider to be holding us in. It says it's also a casing and a covering, a wrapper. And those of us who, like for me, I'm always cold. My skin is always cold. So I always have on various kinds of wrappers and jackets. In fact, I have a jacket and a scarf here someplace. I don't know where it is, but I always have. In fact, I have this one too. So I'm always cold. But anyway, when we look at this, it's a natural covering. So we know that our bodies are naturally covered, kind. We do need to be kind to the skin that we're in. That's true. Do you have a regimen, Debbie, that you do for your skin? Do you have a regimen such as you get up at a certain time? Do you have to put on, moisturizer, or you can't use moisturizers? Because some people can't. I have a friend that all they use is astringent because their skin is extremely moist. I'm just the opposite. I'm extremely dry, so I do the opposite of that. But anyway, it talks about it being something that we look at. It says this covering or this organism, because the skin is also an organism. Like like we didn't know. But we should know. We should realize that an organism is anything that in this instance, it's taking in stuff. It's pulling it in, or we're rejecting it if we're having rashes or things like that. It says I'm a little lax there, but I do cleanse the face and put on moisturizer. So you do moisturizers. Yeah. Good morning, Maurice. How are you? Yeah, I have a regimen. I just, as I said, soap, water, soap, and it's like a Dove. I can still use Dove. I know when we were little, everybody talked about Ivory. I could never. My mother said she would not buy Ivory, so we never used Ivory. We used we would use Dove. That was our soap of choice. I remember my mother used to get the boys Irish Spring, and the girls would use Dove. And so I'm a Dove girl still to this day. I will buy Dove. especially the ones. Sometimes I buy the sensitive kind. It depends on what's going on with me. But anyway, when you go through, your regimen, you realize the importance that skin. We don't get a new. We can't shed the skin that we're in, like what various some animals have that ability to do, where they can shed their skin and grow new skin. We might be able to have a graft and bring skin together if we've been burned or something like that, or they might be able to, put on some patches that will grow into the skin that we have. But generally, the skin that we're in, that's it. That's it. That is it. And then we move on to the last letter that I have today. Um, Skin should be normal. And I say normal because it says conforming to a standard. We all know by to me, the best skin is probably baby skin. And after that, it's going to adapt to the years that we may misuse it, abuse it, whatever we do with it over the years. We realize too much sun, not enough sun, not enough vitamins, not enough, vegetables and fruits, whatever it is that might be also adding to how well our skin is taken care of. But when we talk about normal, we talk about how normally do we care for our skin, conforming to the standards, which is usual for us and something that may be typical or expected. As I said, I formed my own routine, and I remember going to college, and other people did theirs too. You had a skin graft, okay? Wow, wow. So then what they're talking about, where they get it, where it will absolutely bond to the other skin that is still there. Yeah, my sister had a skin graft, and she had it up under her chin. She had a I think it was like a gourd or something that formed and underneath her chin, and got extremely large. So when they took it out, they realized that they had to it was because it was so large that it had stretched the skin. So I think they said they cut some in order to make it be grafted back. A burn on your foot, skin came from my thigh. Wow. So you know what I'm talking about then, that, that it is possible. But, and for me, now I cut my finger years and years ago, and I can still see it. And for some reason, weather bothers that particular area of my skin. I can feel it. And sometimes it will ache depending on the weather, and maybe I did too much, but I can feel it. And it's not always normal, which is what we're talking about here. Sometimes we just know that something's not right with the skin. It may be that it needs something, and we may or may not know how to treat it. But anyway, when we look at something being normal, we want it to be usual, that we have an approach towards it, that there's a standard way that we operate on how we take care of our skin. What do we do? What do we use? Like I have a friend that only uses natural products, so you would never see her use anything that was purchased, say at a conventional store. She goes to the health food store, or like when we've gone to different places that sell like black soap, which is an African form soap, um, or they have the various butters, like all kinds of butters, every kind you can think of. Like I have lemongrass butter, body butter, that I bought from the African shop when I went to the jazz festival last year. But I had so much of it that I still have some now. But it's really good on your skin. Your skin feels really soft and supple and nice. But for me, that's my normal. So, after I get out my shower, then I'm going to butter up, as they say. I'm going to put on my things, but that's my normal. And it says what's common to me, and I'm very comfortable in doing what it is that I do. And nostalgia to look younger. That's right. Come on now. That's right. I want to look younger for sure, or at least look good. As you age too, the skin becomes thinner. Absolutely, which means you have to do more to take care of it. People don't realize that our skin changes, our hair changes, our even our taste buds change. Everything changes. So, I'm thinking that the most durable and the most required attention should really be on the outside. What are we doing to, maintain this exterior that we have that's holding in everything else? I was talking to a woman one day, and she asked me how old I was. I told her, I asked her how old she was. She told me, and she was like 15 years younger than me, but she looked older than me. And she even told me, she said, my God, how could I look older? Well, sometimes the melanin in the skin will just help you. It will help you be able to, just, I would say deflect, all of the things that may be coming for it. Like the sun can really ruin the skin if you stay in it too long. I don't care who you are. But I've never been a sun worshiper. Most of the time I'm running through to get to my car. And if even when I go to the outdoor concerts, I have the big hat, I have the umbrella, and I know how to keep myself covered up. But that's my normal. Somebody else, they go to the beach, they go to, outdoor events, they never are covered up. And some of them, I've seen sunburn on a few people that was so bad that they were peeling, and they felt that they had really, hurt themselves by staying out there, but they loved it because it feels good when you're doing it. It feels good when you have the sun coming down on you. However, in the long, there you go. And it says it's the glue that keeps us together. Absolutely. Our skin is the glue. It's that exterior connectedness that says, I'm still here, I'm still walking and talking and feeling, and my organs are being held, close and in where they're supposed to be, that kind of thing. When you have something that's normal, it says, there's a customary way of dealing with whatever it is that we deal with, or a conventional way, something that's habitual. And, I am not crazy in terms of how well I take care of myself, but I pretty much have a routine. Same thing with my teeth. I, make sure that I try to brush. When I was little, we didn't always realize the importance as much as we got older, that if you didn't do something, you'd be missing some. And some of that was also because, we just didn't have it. We didn't have all that money. It says we can't be here without it. Absolutely, we can. We cannot be here without, having our skin. You're right. You're absolutely right. When something is normal, that means it's become something that we are accustomed to. We're accustomed to taking care of ourselves as best we can and doing what we need to do. It's something that's fixed. Our skin is a fixed part of how we live. It is what we do. It is how we behave. It becomes something that's traditional. And when I say traditional, in the sense that it's our skin, is that traditionally we know what to do. I had burned my finger, them fingers. Okay, I had burned my finger a few months ago, and I'm thinking, well, does it say the butter or it's not? I know it's not the cold, so you're just thinking, what do you put on it to start making it heal, and first stop the hurt and then heal. And sometimes skin, just gets in areas where it might be too moist, um, and an infection forms. So what do? You go to the doctor, get, get some antibiotics if you need them. But if not, just make sure you're covered up properly. Look at what even the pharmacist sometimes can tell you what would be the best approach for taking care of yourself. What becomes normal becomes your average. So if you normally take care of your skin, that's what you need to do. I had a second-degree sunburn with sun poisoning. Wow. And how painful was that? I bet that was very painful. I bet it was because I just that little burn on my finger, and it wasn't a big burn. It was just a little burn, and I was like, ah. So I can imagine that. Well, very. I bet. I bet. Sorry you went through that. The last two things it says for normal is that it is the run of the mill for us. We know how to take care of ourselves. I don't care if anybody else doesn't take care of you. You have to take care of you. And like I don't even try things that people want me to try on my skin because I know how I am. And this has almost been something that after being born a preemie, that my mother had so much trouble in getting my skin. I had asthma and eczema. Okay, the asthma left, but the eczema continued all of my life. Even now, if I get too hot or something, and it has a tendency to form in certain places, especially the back of my neck or the back of my legs, my back of my knees, and in the bends of my arms. So even though some people outgrow it, I didn't. But I know what to do. I don't put myself in positions that make me too hot and make it where those things would flare up. And I love the South. I love living in a warm climate. I'm not a cold girl anymore. I grew up like that, but I am done with it forever, forever and ever and ever. But listen, I just want you all, it's summertime. I want you to take care of your skin. If you can't do nothing else, make sure when you go out, Debbie, I know you when you're living where you're in a community where you can get on your little cart and go around the neighborhood. Make sure you cover up with some kind of sunscreen, and then wear a hat or a bonnet of some sort if you can. I just feel that we're pretty much covered up by most of our bodies when we go out, with the exception of maybe from the legs down if you wear shorts and maybe short sleeve shirts, and then our faces are out. So we need to make sure that we protect those areas with some kind of sun blocker of some sort. But listen, have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful weekend. This weekend is the Crawfish Festival downtown here. I'm going to maybe go to that. I'm trying to get out some other little things that I need to hurry up and finish up for next week. And I'm going to be riding in my new car, so I'm excited about that. But have a wonderful weekend. Be safe. Take care of yourselves. And look out for the skin that you're in. It's the only one you have, and mine is the only one that I have. I love you. I appreciate you. And if you don't do anything else, go ahead and send this out as a shared. I'm missing a few people today, but it's Friday and people go away. It's like the summertime and people are doing stuff. But I love you guys. Have a great, 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 great weekend. Okay. I'll see you Monday, 9 a.m. And I should be back in my own space and not hanging out in the car place here. Bye-bye. Love you guys. Thank you. Bye. Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye.